A lot of people think that lots of world leaders do drugs, cocaine specifically, and they'll cite videos like this to suggest that this is true. It's a bit weird. Just saying, that's a bit weird. And it's not just Jacinda Ardern either, it's of course our favourite heroic world leader, who has a bit of a weird nose twitch. So, I am a man of the world, and in my youth I did many things, and I never did cocaine, but I know people who did, and this is very much indicative of the kind of mannerisms that someone who does cocaine does. They get a bit sort of tweaky, and they're constantly wiping their nose, because I don't know why, I guess it must just feel like they've still got something on their nose, right? But they're also wired. And this is, to me, if this was my kids, like acting this way, if this were like this, I would think my children were on drugs. I'd be like, look, you know, don't lie, be honest. I'm absolutely certain that's what you're doing. And again, the facial expressions, so much more animated than usual, right? This is the thing that you would also look for, not being just calm, not just holding someone's gaze, like looking around wide-eyed, you know, like, yeah, this is the kind of wired effect that people on coke get. And so there was this video that went, well, not viral specifically, but clips from it. There's only 125,000 views, but clips from it and he says wiping his nose. I've got hay fever. Clips from it went viral on Twitter, and people were like, well, hang on a second, what's going on here, lads? So as you can see, this from the AFP news agency, which is a French government state broadcaster. And it's just a video of Macron, Merz, and Starmer meeting aboard a train. So the German Chancellor, the French President, and the British Prime Minister meeting aboard a train to go to Kiev to obviously meet Zelensky for whatever reason. And this is very interesting because the press kind of seems to have kind of like burst in on them. Like, we'll watch it. They seem to be fairly surprised that suddenly the room is full of cameras and reporters, and Keir Starmer has arrived. And I'm like, ha ha ha! Very, again, you can see the, you know, the strange attitude. But look here what's on the desk. You've got some sort of white baggie and then some kind of spoon or stirrer. Now, I've heard people say, well, look, this is just a tissue and a stirrer. It's like, okay, maybe. But what was he stirring? A glass of water? Why would you need a stirrer for a glass of water? That's a bit weird. And you'll see the way that Macron reacts to the tissue now is very strange. If it's just a tissue, who cares? So they sit down, and Macron and Merz here, you'll see, look at this. So watch Merz's right hand here. Oh, just surreptitiously, that's just concealed within my hand. Why do you need to conceal a stirrer? Why would you bother about concealing a stirrer? Now watch Macron's right hand. As you can see, the little baggie is on the table here, and Macron just under. Listen, man, I've been around people who have been caught doing drugs. This is how they act. And so I don't know that that's not just a tissue on the floor and instead is actually a paper baggie of cocaine, and they weren't using whatever, the spoon or the stirrer or whatever it is to shove it up their noses. I don't know, right? But they're acting as if that's what they are. Like, as if it's just a tissue and a stirrer, just leave it on the table, who cares? Or just don't act like you've been caught, because what they're doing, and you'll see, we'll go back and we'll watch, right? So what they're doing is they're very definitely trying to keep people's eyes, right? So they are looking at, especially Macron, but you'll see they're looking at the faces of the people and trying to keep their eyes, so their eyes aren't going onto what's in their hands. So hopefully they've surreptitiously just not, if it's just tissue, you just be like, oh, right, okay, yeah, sorry about that. You know, you just get that off the side. Because, I mean, like, you might be like, well, they don't want to look messy or something. It's like, sorry, look at the way they're dressed. They don't look formal, do they? Like, sorry, they're going to be like, oh, well, I don't look like I'm in my best suit at the moment, so I'm worried that we don't look good. No, don't give me that, right? If it was a tissue, he'd just grab it and just put it to the side or in the bin or whatever. If it was a stirrer, I mean, why have you got a stirrer? Obviously, you don't have a tea or a coffee or anything like that. So what is it you're stirring? A glass of water. But again, why wouldn't you just put that in a bin? You wouldn't be trying to hide it. But what they're trying to do is conceal it in their hands. And, I mean, look at Macron's face. Macron in particular looks like a very guilty boy, doesn't he? Starmer also, weirdly, watch Starmer's face throughout this. Starmer also looks weirdly guilty as well. And the thing is, it looks like Starmer's just come into the room, so I don't think you'd be able to say that he was the one doing it. But he also looks, again, they just look like boys who've just been caught doing drugs. They just look like they've been caught doing drugs. And they look kind of guilty. Macron looks a bit wired. And there we go. He goes to hide it in his back pocket or something like that. What remarkable. Why are you hiding this? Like, look at this. Just, why are you hiding it? If it's nothing, if it's just a tissue, why surreptitiously get it off the table? And so lots of people online, like, oh, right, that seems to line up with the other evidence of our world leaders being hooked on cocaine is. Now, this isn't something new or original. Like, everyone knows that throughout the 20th century, especially during like World War II, all of our leaders were basically, you know, drug-addled drunkards. Like Winston Churchill, was there a day that Winston Churchill wasn't drunk? I doubt it. He was a total drunkard. I imagine the same was like Adolf Hitler was. There's that famous image of him tweaking back and forth because he's on like methamphetamines or something. It's like, yeah, like it seems that lots of world leaders have been on drugs for a long time, and our world leaders aren't actually breaking that tradition. And it looks here like Macron, Starmer and Merz have been caught in the act by accident, because that's how bloody cavalier they are with their drugs on the table. Now, like I said, I can't prove that's what they're doing. All I'm saying is I am a man of the world and I am experienced in many different spheres. And if I saw people acting the way Macron and Merz did, and the fact that they just so fluidly decided, oh, we need to surreptitiously just, oh, get rid of that, oh, get rid of that, put that in the back pocket. The fact that that's the case, man, I'm telling you, I would be like, hand it over. Hand it over. Don't put it in your pocket, Macron. You know, don't put it in your pocket there. Hand it over. Like, you're not acting in a way that seems creditable here. Like, you're acting like you've been caught with contraband and the over-expressiveness on the face. Because Macron's often quite a serious-looking guy, actually. But no, he's incredibly friendly. He's incredibly interested in maintaining eye contact with these journos. Hopefully, they won't notice, and they'll just put it away. That's fine. It's gone. Don't worry about it. No, I don't believe you. And if I were in the room, I'd be like, what did you just put there? Can I see it? Why can't I see it? If it's just a tissue, why can't I see it? I want to see it. But of course, the journos aren't going to do that, because they're just regime hacks who are stenographers who are here to just tell us what we want to hear. But I can see why there are so many people online saying, oh, they've just been caught with cocaine, because that's what this looks like. Like I said, I can't prove they have cocaine or anything. It's just that we seem to have lots of instances where they just really look like they've been taking cocaine, and Macron seems to be looking, especially, but Merz as well, who covers it better than Macron does, like they've just been caught doing something they ought not to be doing. They look like they've been surprised by the press. Starmer comes in and they're like, oh, everything's great, isn't it, guys? There's nothing to see here. We're just going to Ukraine, spend billions and billions of taxpayers' money, and hopefully get a peace deal with Vladimir Putin or whatever. And so, yeah, this, like I said, this just looks really bad. Really, really bad. And I do actually find myself siding on the side of, I think this was drugs. Whereas I did see a lot of people online say, no, it's just a tissue, it's just a stirrer. It's like, okay, but the story isn't adding up for me at all. Again, the stirrer is the particularly critical point. Are they stirring their glasses of water? You can be like, oh, they're vodka. Okay, they're stirring their vodka. These are things that don't need to be stirred. They don't have a tea or a coffee here. Why have they got a stirrer? Why is Macron trying to hide what looks like a paper baggie? Why is he afraid of having that on the table? Why do they look so out of sorts? And the kind of discombobulated, like, charm of someone who's just been caught in the act of something and is hoping he can just kind of bluff his way out of it. That's how Macron very much comes across here. And Keir Starmer looks quite wooden. Again, I don't think Keir Starmer was taking cocaine. I mean, maybe he does, I don't know. He doesn't look interesting enough to take cocaine. But look at him. He looks just kind of set-jawed and just like, this could be bad, this could be a problem. I'm just going to sit here and kind of grimace quietly through this thing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be like, yep, just look until they go. Gives him a side eye. Can't find a comfortable way of sitting. I think Starmer knew, and I think that they know, and I think that the thing is they've been busted. Just saying.